to Crisp ASMR. You guys seemed to like the previous Sudoku video, so I thought it would be nice to make another one and we can solve a Sudoku together. So please sit back and relax and enjoy this time as we solve this puzzle. Okay. This one doesn't seem to be too difficult. Just a nice, satisfying, and relaxing Sudoku. Immediately, we can start off with the easiest things first, which is these cages. Just in case you're new here, this is Killer Sudoku, the expert variation. For Killer Sudoku, we need to make sure all the numbers inside these dotted cages don't repeat and that they add up to the number at the top. So for example, if this were 13, it could be 9, 1, 4, it could be 8, 2, 3, and so on. So immediately we can see there's a 1 here. So the only thing that can sum to a 1 is, of course, the 1 herself. There's a 7 below, so let's add in the 7. Now, that already gives us some hints of what to do here. Because, where does the 9 go in this square? The 9 cannot go to 9, because then it would have to be 9 and 0. And we know that for this 15 cage, there are only 2 ways to make 15 in Sudoku, and that's 9, 6, and 7 and 8. But as you can see, the 7 has already been used, so we know for a fact that this has to be 9 and 6, and we can make a note of that already in pencil. Nice. Where does the 8 go, though? Well, we know for sure that if this cage is a 9, it could be made of 8 and 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, and 5, 4. But look, the partner of the 8, the 1, is already in the 1 cage. So that means the 8 cannot go here. The 8 must be in the 13 cage. Same logic here. Who's the partner of the 7? The 2. Very good. So if the 2 and the 7 can't go in the 9 cage, where does it go? It must go in the 13 cage. Nice. That means the remaining number must add up to 13. And with 8 and 2, that makes 10. So we know 10 needs 3 more to be 13. So we need to add 3 to the 13. And there's our completed note for the 13. Very good. Now the only remaining numbers are 5 and 4. And there's also the only remaining combination possible that can make 9. So let's go ahead and put the 5 and the 4 in the notes. And there's our first square noted down. Now, of course, same logic here. There's a 5. Now, as mentioned before, it's also good to look for numbers that are very, very big or very, very small. And you can see there's a 3 here. Since it's so small, there's only one possible combination that can make 3. Can you see what it is? 1 and 2. Very nice. So we can put that note down, but as you can see, we've already filled in a 1. That means we know that this has to be a 2 and a 1. And we filled that in. And that means we know that the 1 is somewhere along the bottom of the bottom left square. Okay. Now, another trick for Killer Sudoku especially is the summing to 45. Because we know that every single square must have the numbers 1 to 9 in, that means every square, within every square, the sum must be 45. Working backwards, that means we can count the sum that we already have and find out the missing squares. So let's try it. 12 and 18 is 30. 35, 38. So we know that this must be a 7 to make 45. Meaning, we know that the 7 resides somewhere here. But look, this is a 14 cage. In order to make 14, 7 would need to be paired with another 7, but as we mentioned, it's not possible because you have to have different digits, so we can eliminate the 7 from the 14. We know it's somewhere here. With that logic, we know, also we know because of Sudoku rules, because the number shouldn't repeat in a row or column. We know that the 6 is not in this row anymore, but we also know that because 12 is 6 plus 6. So the 6 is somewhere in the 18. Now what else can we eliminate? The 9 could still be in here. Oh, because the 3 is not gone, but because the 9 has already been used in that row, we know that it must be downstairs. And if we know that 9 plus 6 is 15, then we need what to make 18? 3. Very good. And that leaves us with 4 and 8. So we know that the 8 is along the bottom. We know that the 6 is along the top. We know that the 4 is along the top. But I guess maybe I over-notate. Maybe I did too much notation. Sometimes it's not helpful to have too much. Okay, let's skip. Now let's look at this square. We can do the same thing we did with the 45 in this square. But instead of working out these two boxes, we can work out what's in this box, depending on what's left over after 45. So what do I mean by this? Let me show you. 14 plus 16 is 30. 39, 42, 52. Now, all of these cages sum to 52. If we know that this box is equal to 45, then this left over must be also a 7 to make 52. Very nice. Okay, does that help? Let's see. Okay. Now, where else can we look? We also know that this must be a 9, and therefore there's no way for the 9 to live in this area. We know the 9, therefore, is somewhere along here. Maybe I will delete. Is somewhere along here. The 9 is somewhere here. Okay, so this 7, thanks to the rule of no cages, and also I guess the rule of the columns, has conveniently eliminated the other 7 possibilities. So we know for a fact now that this is a 7. And if that's a 7, there's no way that we can have a 9, a 6, or an 8, because then it would be over 13, and we would have bust the number, so to speak. So we can delete those possibilities, and now we know that this 8 has to live in here, and so it's an 8-1 pair, and the remainder left over after that, therefore, is the number that hasn't been used, which is the 2. So this is 9 now, and that means we need 4. Excellent. Now the only thing this could be is a 9, which makes this a 5, making that a 6. And with 7 and 6 being 13, this becomes a 3, and we have completed the notation of the bottom section. Well done, us. Okay, so now 22 minus 7 is 15. 15 can only be made with 9, 6, and 7, 8, but with 7 being taken away, we know that this must be 9 and 6, therefore. Nice. Okay. Now, how do we make 10? Well, there's 9, 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, and 6, 4. But you can see we've already used the 9 in 9, 1. We've used the 7 in 7, 3. and we use the 6 and the 6, 4. And of course there's no 5 in 10 because it would be doubled. So the only one that's left is 8 and 2. And so this 10 must be comprised of 8 and 2. And we already know the 2 is here. So that means we can already go ahead and make this an 8. Okay, which makes this a 2. And now let's see if that eliminates anything for the 9. Now 9 is made with 8, 1, 7, 2, 6, 3, and 5, 4. And perfect. That is eliminated. We know 6, 7, 8 are gone. That leaves us with 5, 4. So we know this has to be made of 5 and 4. And look here. Lo and behold, the 5 is already taken. So we must go for the single 4 instead. Respectfully. And with this 4 here, this 8 is now solidified, leaving this 4 to be sure of itself. Let me take a drink. Now, remember what was said about small numbers? This 8 is quite small, so eventually that means we'll know what's inside it, because the only two possibilities to make 8 with 3 numbers is 521 and 431. 521, 431. Yep. We can't do 422, we can't do, anything else. So that means, what is the similarity in both of those? 531, 421? That's correct. They all have a 1 in it. So we know for a fact that there is a 1, but we don't know if it's a 4 or a 5 yet, currently. But we know that 1 has to go somewhere in here in order to complete this row. We know that, so that means we know that the only way that's possible to have an 8 is if this is a 1, which is correct. Which means 1 is somewhere here or here, thanks to these two 1s. But look, the 1 cannot be in the 9 cage, because we already have the 8 here, and that's its partner to be a 9. And the 1 cannot be in 13, because that would have to be 12. And as you can see, there's no button for 12. So we know that this 5 is a 1 and a 4. Okay. We know that it's a 1 and a 4. Nice. Okay. What else can I do? Okay. 7. The 9 is pretty restricted in this box, just because it can only be here or here. But we don't know where it is yet, so let's leave that for now. Let's see what should be in these two boxes. So how do we do that? We know we can find out the remainder after we add these all. The remainder above 45. So 16, 5 is 21, 21, 24, 34, 34 plus 9, 43, 43, 48, 58. So we know that these two numbers, 58, need to add up to 13. Okay? 13. So there's no 1, 2, or 3 in there for sure. And that 13, that means by subtraction, 13, this is 24. 24 minus 13, 11. Yes, so these two need to be 11. There's no 1, 2, 3, or 4. What else do we have? We have these two 5s here, which means the 5 lives somewhere in the 16. So these two, now the remainder two numbers add up to 11. Okay, so 13. How do we make 13? 13 is made with 9, 4, 8, 5, or 7, 6. No, it can't be 9, 4, because the 4 is already in the box. Can it be 8, 5? 5 is already in both of these columns, so no. It means it must be 6 and 7. Okay, very good. Okay, so what else do we know? we know that, okay, 9 can still be here or here, because we don't know where the 2 is yet. Sorry, there's like construction above me. Okay. 7. Okay. Dang, go fight. So, what else do we know for... Okay, we also know that this is a 1 or a 3. Which means this 11, to make 11, we need 7. So this is definitely a 7. So we know that there is a 7 here or here. We don't know where yet. And there's also a 7. There is a 7 somewhere either in here or here. Interesting. So this is either a 2 or an 8. Okay. Okay. 8. The 8 cannot be here. Cannot be in the 8 box, of course. So the 8 has to be along the top row, which means the only place the 8 can live is in the 11, being 8, 3. But we already have this 8 here, so we know that this has to be 3. This has to be an 8. Nice. Which helps us know what's in the 8. Because remember, 4, 3, 1 or 5, 2, 1. Now we know that if it's not a 3, so that this must be 5, 2. 5, 2. Nice. Okay. Which means... Oh, I mean, we also could have known that because of the 3 now. But, you know, whatever way works for us. Works for us. Okay. So the 2 has to be somewhere here or here. 6 and 9. Okay. What else do we know? We know the 8. The 8 can no longer be in any of these areas. It must be in the 16. So now we know 8 plus 5, 13. We know there's a 3 here somewhere. Very nice. Does that help us eliminate anything? Yes, it does. It eliminates this 3, making this our 3. Good, good. Okay, so now we know for a fact 1, 2. The 2 has to be here because that's the only thing remaining. And the 2 obviously can't be in 15, so we're going to put her, in the 2, 9, 2, 7 to make 9, making this only possibility the 9 and 6. And with that, we've completed this row, these 2 rows, and this, our first complete square. And now we have our second complete square. Yay. Okay. Good progress. This is quite a nice little puzzle. Okay, 4. We know that it's not here, so the 4 can go along the top, and the other number missing is the 9. Okay. Is this 9 being in the 14 possible? 9 plus 5, 9, 3, 2, 4, 1. Technically still possible. So we'll leave it there for now. Okay, 1 has to be somewhere here, and the 1 can't be in the 8 thanks to this 7. So we have the 1, 2, 3. 3 is somewhere here. Okay, and we have 4. We have the 5. So it has to be 5 or 5. There's a little triple relationship here. Depending on what one is, it affects what the other will be. Okay, so now we know that the 4 is here or here. 4, 5, okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, here, or here, no. But we know, let's work with what we do know for sure, and that is the fact that this 13 has a 6 in it, which means we're looking for things that add up to 7, and that means if the 6 is definitely here, and it needs to add up to 7, the 1 can no longer be here, because 1 needs 6 to make 7, so that means this is definitely a 1. And the only place this middle one could be is 3, and this is a 5, making this a 3. making this the 9 still either here or no, sorry. This 3 is here. So now this cannot, this is a 6. We need 6 and 4 to make the 13. So we know that this is the 6, this is the 4, and this is therefore the 9. Very good. So we have 10 here. We need to make 11. 11, which is made with 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 7, 4, and 6, 5, 6, 5. 2 of which are still possible for the time being, so maybe we'll leave that. But let's look at the 7. Okay, 7 is made with 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. We already have 6, 1, and we have 4, 3, so that means we know that this must be a 5, 2 pair. We can already eliminate this as well. Nice. It's easy to forget the rest, a part of the board sometimes. Okay. And we need to make 11 and 9. So we know, of course, the 9 cannot be in the 9. And it's not here. So the only place it can be is this 9 and 6. So I know that because also this row. Now, what else do we know? Oh, perfect. By Sudoku, the 7 leaves the 7. The 7s leave the 7 in this square. And to make 11, we need 4. That leaves this 9 being comprised of 8 and 1. Eliminating this 8 for us. And now we know. What else do we know? The 1 is somewhere here or here. But the 1, if the 1 were in the 25, then we would need 2 numbers to make 22, which is not possible. The biggest number we can make out of Sudoku digits is 17. So we know the 1 is not there. The 1 has to be in the 14. Making this a 1 and a 3. And now this needs to be 13. And this is a lone 7. That's become the only place a 7 can be placed. So we've done all the 7s. What else is missing from the top? Okay, 1, 2, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8. Well, first we need to make 11. We know we need to make 11 from the remaining numbers. We can make 9, 2. We could make 8, 3. Not 7, 4. Or we could make 5, 6. We cannot make 5, 6. So that means we know the remaining numbers are 8 and 3. Meaning this is definitely a 5. This is a 2. This is a 5. This becomes 3. And this becomes an 8. We're getting really close to the end now, everyone. To the end of this puzzle. So we know the 2 is somewhere here. Do we also know anything else? Do we also know anything else? Anything else? Anything else? We know the 4 is here, and we know the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 has to be here. But the 9, there's no way for the 9 to be an 11 since it's a 3 number combination. That means the 9, the only place it can be, thanks to Sudoku, is here. Making this, therefore, a 4. Making this a 5. This is a 4. So this is a 6. This is a 9. Now this is an 8 and 9. 17 plus 2 is 19, so we know this is a 6. Now this is a 2. This is a 4. We need a 6, something to make 11, which is 5. This is a 3. Which makes this a 2, and this a 5, and now we know this is an 8, and this is a 2, and that eliminated this to be a 3, and now this is an 8. And how do we complete this? 1, 2, 3, the thing missing from this is an 8, and now for the finale, a 1. Yes, well done, we have done it. thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, and looking forward to solve more puzzles together with you next time. Bye bye. Stay well.